Kevin Durant, when he went to the Warriors, received a lot of flack for hopping to the, presumptive favorite.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different because one, Roki Sasaki is not one of the 5 best players in the league already. And we'll get to that in a second. And it is a much more rational decision for Sasaki. The infrastructure in LA to help him onboard into being a successful major leaguer, it's light years better than what anybody else can offer him. Right. And that is both in terms of the pitching development, but in terms of him coming to a team that has other Japanese superstars and can offer him the environment that's going to make him feel comfortable immediately. Like, I think that does have impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think the latter factors you're mentioning, the LA aspect of it, the competition, all of those, it's just you're not going to beat the Dodgers on those metrics. If you were looking at just pitching development, there's other teams who I think are comparable, if not better, specifically with keeping guys healthy. And that's something, Ken Rosenthal, my colleague from The Athletic, has had a column the other day about how like the main charge for the Dodgers to basically keep Sasaki healthy, which is going to be a significant challenge if you talk to scouts who have seen him and looked at his delivery and, tracked him over the last couple of years as he's dealt with some health stuff, some velo stuff. Like, he's probably going to get hurt at some point, right?
He's going to get Tommy John. Like,
yeah.
Yes, like that will happen.
Probably.
The combination of him throwing that hard at that age with arm issues and being on the Los Angeles Dodgers, like, I will take the over on Tommy John.
I don't know if the Dodgers specifically are the thing that's going to make him break. It's probably the pitching, but yeah. So like, you can argue if his whole thing was, I want to go to, the team that is going to keep my arm healthiest, he probably, would have joined like an underhand softball league because pitching is bad for your arm. If you wanted to go for the team that would make you the best player, you could argue that there's other spots where you could be, you could have that, sort of chance. But if you want to be good, if you want to be on a good team, if you want to be in a comfortable environment, yeah, like the Dodgers, like, obviously make the most sense.
Does he start a postseason game?
If he's healthy, yeah.
Okay, so who doesn't? And this is a good transition into the Dodgers. The hurt guys, right? So the Dodgers are going to roll into the season with a 6-man rotation. 5 of those spots are effectively set. Glasnow, Snell, Sasaki, Yamamoto, Ohtani. How many of those guys will be in the opening day rotation is a different conversation. Ohtani probably not.
Ohtani will not be, yeah.
You could envision a world where they decide to kind of onboard Sasaki late and not have him start the season. There are same thing with Glasnow, right? Like, you could envision part of the reason the Dodgers have this many talented arms now is because they can play games with their innings so that they're presumably ready to go in October, right? Who has the 6th most starts this year for the Los Angeles Dodgers is an interesting question. Other options: Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, who people forget he was freaking amazing for like a 2-year stretch. Bobby Miller, who was maybe the worst pitcher I've ever seen in 2024. Landon Knack, who was the worst pitcher I had ever seen in the postseason in 2024. And then Game 4 World Series starter Ben Kasparius. And then the other question, Andy, what does this mean for free agent soft tosser Clayton Kershaw?
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to tell him you said that. He'll be like, who? Yeah. So for Kershaw, the plan has always been to come back closer to midseason. To kind of go on a version of the Roger Clemens plan from back in the day where, he's kind of tired of doing spring training is my understanding. And, he's recovering from knee surgery and also foot surgery or toe surgery. But he has a surgically repaired left shoulder, and he wants to give it at least one more run, which is what he told me. You can read all about that in the paperback edition of The Last of His Kind, Clayton Kershaw and the Burden of Greatness, which I believe will be out May 6th. So Kershaw, he is like, I don't know, this could change, obviously, because they don't have a contract signed yet or announced, but the plan is for him to sign and be there early in the summer. And it's more just like a 40-man, 60-man issue right now. But yeah, like in the bigger picture, as I texted, you on the day that Sasaki signed, I said, remember this day when Ben Kasparius is starting Game 1 in October. And we're all talking about the Dodgers super rotation because, like, again, you got Sasaki who comes with, some injury risk. You have Shohei Ohtani, who like everyone's penciling in for 125 innings, even though he's coming back from his second elbow reconstruction, which is not an easy thing to do. You have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who had a significant shoulder injury last year. You have Tyler Glass now, who got, I believe it was elbow and was unable to answer the bell for the postseason. And then like you have Blake Snell, who is awesome, but also has dealt with injury issues over the past few years. So like none of these guys you can pencil in for 175, right? Now, if they're healthy and they're ready to go, they're, lethal. But like, you got to dodge a bunch of bullets to get there.
We did just do this, right? Like, if you look at the Dodgers pitching rotation on opening day 2024, obviously it's not as good as the one that they'll enter this upcoming season with, but it's pretty damn good. And things change, right? Things happen. And we'll get to this in the second segment. Giving the Dodgers the 2025 World Series trophy is a fool's errand and premature, as overwhelming as their offseason does seem. One more conversation about Sasaki, and then we'll take a break. Does the entire process that he went through feel shallow in retrospect, that he has decided to sign with the Dodgers? Because I am sympathetic to fans of the 29 other teams who for a year were basically told, this guy's amazing. This is something worth caring about and investing in and thinking about. And then when the dust settled, he just ended up on the Dodgers. Now, at the same time, there were people writing smart things that said, hey, he's probably going to just be a Dodger. But I understand, like, okay, so here, a year from now, another Japanese superstar comes over, right? Like, what's stopping us from just assuming that he's going to be on the Dodgers, right? If he's a second baseman or a left fielder,